Hello and welcome to another episode of Staffordshire Hoard Object Focus, part of the BBC's Art That Made Us festival. Today I'm looking at object 597, which is actually a group of objects all relating to a single very high status helmet. In fact, more than 1,000 fragments from the Staffordshire Hoard come from a single helmet. This panel is made from gilded silver. It's made from a very, very thin sheet which has been decorated using a die. This is a modern die which was used to create a reproduction helmet, but the principle is very much the same. So a sheet of metal is placed in this die, the whole thing is squeezed together, and that leaves the impression on the object. Piecing these panels back together has been a very difficult process. Experts described it like having a jigsaw and trying to complete it, but you've not got the picture on the box and you don't know how many pieces are missing. And you can see just how many tiny pieces some of these panels have broken into and the size of some of those fragments, incredibly minute. This fragment of a panel shows marching warriors. They appear to be well armoured and carry swords. They're clearly warriors of a certain status and rank. Because the Staffordshire Hoard helmet is so fragmented, there's no way we can ever display the whole thing all together. So this reproduction helmet is our best chance really to see what the helmet may have looked like when it was all pieced together. And you can see reproductions of that panel we were looking at on top of the case around the edge of this helmet, showing those groups of three marching warriors marching round each side of the helmet and meeting in the middle, maybe to do battle at the front of the helmet. And interestingly, some of these scenes also appear on the famous anglo-saxon helmet discovered in 1939 in the Sutton Hoo ship burial, also believed to be a royal burial. Inside this helmet is a steel cap, and over which leather has been moulded and formed over that cap. And then all these thin pieces of silver decoration are pinned and riveted through into the leather, and at certain points all the way through into the metal cap to hold the whole thing together. Like many objects in the Staffordshire Hoard, we don't have those iron pieces left. Whatever happens to the steel cap of this helmet, it wasn't buried in the hoard. Just like the swords, we only have the decorative gold and silver parts of this helmet. A lot of this helmet is based on evidence in the hoard, but there are one or two things that have been slightly more guesswork, mainly the crest. We know from the crest channel fragments in the hoard that there were traces of beeswax and wood. Something was clearly being held in that crest, but what that actually was, we don't know. During the helmet reconstruction project, the team went for horsehair, which is a natural material available to the Anglo-Saxons, and that's been dyed red using madder, which is a natural dye, again, something that would have been available to the Anglo-Saxons. And it looks lovely in our gallery and matches the walls and the red garnets and the gold, but whether or not this helmet really had a red crest of horsehair, we just don't know. You can see the panels above our marching warriors showing those pairs of horned, spear-wielding warriors, and another scene of a man on a horse riding down some enemies. And below our marching warriors, in the centre of this helmet, we can see a marching line of possibly lower rank warriors, seemingly much more simply armed with spears and shields. And do we see in this helmet some kind of hierarchy going from the rank and file up through the high status warriors to perhaps a king on those panels at the top of the helmet? And again, it's one of these panels near the top which is very similar to panels that have been found on the Sutton Hoo helmet itself. Helmets are certainly rare and exclusive items in this time. Only a handful of confirmed examples are known from this period, and it was clearly a prestige item. The Sutton Hoo helmet is almost certainly royal, and that was made from copper alloy, so it stands to reason that the Staffordshire Hoard helmet, clad in gilded silver, also represents someone at the pinnacle of their society, a king.